It says we're live, random Yoko in Japan. If it's live, hopefully somebody will tell us here shortly. I just got a notification that it's live. So if it is, please tell us in comments. And we're going to hear what's going on up in Japan from random Yoko.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
Oh, okay.
So say hello and introduce yourself. Oh, I see it looks live on my Facebook. I'm looking on my iPad. Okay.
Oh, cool. I'm wandering on my phone.
So how are you doing tonight in
showing.
Japan? And what time is it there?
Good. It's about 10 p.m.
Uh-oh. Heavy echo again. Heavy echo.
Oh,
Lord.
Really?
Here we go with that again.
Oh, yeah, I see your feed now.
Now, can you hear me? Can you hear me? See, I think the problem is you're not going to be able to hear me, but everybody else can. But see, it's got two microphones working for some reason. We should just go offline and figure it out on our own.
Or like, if you put that up, I can still hear, though.
You can hear me? Okay. We'll go like this. Okay. All right. Let's do it like that. All right. So what's going on up in Japan, or over in Japan?
It's interesting because we went through the hard times last month, and it's kind of calm right now. And so what's happening in America right now happened in Japan last month. So basically our toilet paper disappeared, our masks disappeared, and even the time of the month, like female products disappeared, but now they're back except for masks. So we are having like a normal time almost, but the schools are closed, and our year starts in April. So some schools will be restarting or like starting of the year. So we're not sure how that goes, but we'll see. And other than that, we're just having like political arguments and so on, I'd say.
Well, I think it's not really over. I think it hasn't started for Japan yet. You've had the sell-off and that sort of stuff, but when it comes to the actual virus, it hasn't really hit Japan yet. And it's not really hitting the United States big yet. It's just coming. And, for instance, New York State really is starting to shut down, as is California, which are two, incredibly vital states. And then other states, I think Illinois and others. So the virus hasn't really hit Japan in any big way yet.
I think what's happening, though, is that we kind of controlled the number of infections, but what's happening right now is that there are people traveling right now, like in this pandemic, and they come back with the result of positive. So, like, those people are bringing virus into our country right now. So it can get worse. Yes.
Where are they from? Where are the travelers from?
Go to Europe. So, like, some of them came back from Finland. Several people.
Japanese citizens that were in Finland came back with the virus?
In my prefecture, that was exchange student that was studying here and then had a trip in university and then came back and positive. And then there are some old people that traveled to Finland and then like a normal citizen, Japanese citizen, and then came back and positive.
Right. But your schools are already shut down, right? Is that throughout Japan?
Since early March. So.
And how long will they be shut down?
Until the end of this month, I believe. Most of them, like unless it's like a huge infected area.
I think they're going to be shut down a little bit longer, like a lot longer, actually.
Yeah. I know.
Because the virus hasn't really hit Japan yet. It's about to. And now that's why I keep encouraging everybody, including in Japan, to really stock up on food now. But it really hasn't hit yet. The idea hasn't hit yet, and none of my Japanese friends are taking it seriously, actually.
Yeah, because it's peaceful, actually.
Well, that's the way it starts. The virus doesn't make much noise. It doesn't come in like lighting fireworks and shooting flares in the air. It just kind of slips right in.
Yeah, somebody actually posted a picture of comparison of Japanese grocery store versus European grocery stores. So European ones are vacant and Japanese ones are full of products. So we're like,
yeah.
For now. I don't agree with that. That's for right now. Like, we never know.
Yeah, because you haven't been hit with the virus yet very much. The case rate is still quite low in Japan. And you're still down you're still down on what we were talking about before. You just have scattered cases around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What differentiates Japan, though, is that we're a hygienic nation, and also our medical system is very good. So, I hear that some in foreign countries, you have the symptom, but you can't go to hospital because it's too expensive or something. Or even if you go, the medical, doctors don't know how to handle, and inside of the same hospitals, they get infected and so on. And I hear that that's happening, but not in Japan. I wonder if that makes any difference.
I think, there's a lot of countries that only have the relative numbers that Japan has right now. Like Japan is reported on the Johns Hopkins site, which I'm looking at right here, is having 1,007 cases, which is about the same as Brazil or Portugal.
And we have to consider the population when we look at the number.
You've got 120 million, right? Population. But I think you're going to see this exponential explosion here is going to happen, starting now. You're going to start seeing, within a couple of weeks, you'll probably see more like 10,000 cases within a couple of weeks, right? And within a month, it can be a tremendous number, like 100,000. It depends on how disciplined everybody is and if everybody's wearing masks, if people quarantine. Japanese have a lot of cultural discipline, right? So that's a huge advantage, as do Taiwanese people, as do Hong Kongers, some sorts of Hong Kongers. But in America, some of us do and some of us don't. So as a group, we have low cultural discipline. We have groups that have very high discipline and groups that have low. As you know, if you have just one person in your group that's doing badly, you all get it, right? And that's the way this thing works. You only need one person smoking around gasoline for everybody to burn up, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's what has slowed it down in Japan for now, and also Taiwan, but Hong Kong. But Hong Kong is starting to get clusters now, and so I think that you're going to see Japan and Hong Kong and Taiwan are actually going to, at their own pace, you'll see the infection come all around.
I just saw Hong Kong protesters protesting tonight.
They are. They're Yuen Long. I've been tracking it.
8 months. 8 months. Pronunciation is so hard. 8 months since the Yuen Long, when the Triad people started to attack.
Oh yeah.
That's 8 months ago. So now they're protesting again, and that's good that they're fighting. But at the same time, the virus can be dangerous too. So
they want to fight, and because they're serious people, and some Hong Kongers yourself. Oh, we should talk about Andy, but Yuen Long.
Yeah.
I'm watching my network right now, and actually I was watching it in between the last live and then coming on with you, and some of my friends have gone out to Yuen Long. They're there now, and so, but I should actually call one of those later tonight. But let's talk about Andy actually. Yeah, let's talk about Andy.
You've met Andy.
Yeah, I have met Andy. And so he's been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yes, thanks to Dr. Jason Morgan. He nominated. There are criteria for nomination, a nominator. So
Jason's a good friend of mine, actually. We cooperate with each other constantly.
I'm aware.
Yeah, we both, and you were a cell of people destroying Chinese Communist Party, and so is Andy.
Yeah.
They're like, this is deep inside of one of our cells here. You know, we're smoking their asses. Sorry for the language. I know Japanese hate bad language, and so do people from the South where I'm from. So like my family watching me say stuff like even the word bullshit, they would be like, whoa, what are you saying that?
Really?
Especially, why did you just say that on the air? You know, you're not Japanese are, because Japanese don't even cuss at all.
We don't have that language.
You don't even have a bad word, do you? I think the Japanese version of bad word is like, you don't work hard, you're lazy, right? Saying you're lazy in Japanese is like saying you're the worst person in the world, right?
Yeah, it's like when we try to talk really bad, it's like Your Highness kind of thing. Like that's the word itself. It's how you say it. So it's really weird.
You'll say Your Highness?
I mean, like right in front. It's like the respect for what's in front of you.
Right.
So like, you're in front of me, and you're in front of me, and you're blah blah blah.
You're taking up space.
Weird.
No, Japanese. You know, I've been all over the world, and Japanese are a special people. Well, one time I was in Kyoto, and I was having this dinner with a lot of Japanese. It was just me. I was the only American. I was the only foreigner. And I said at one point, I said, you know, I said something like, I think actually Japanese came from a different planet. You're not actually from Earth or something like that. I was just joking, you know, and I was like, and I think that you're like aliens and you came to Kyoto as your headquarters. And this one lawyer, she was sitting in front of me, this lawyer, she actually realized I was using stupid American humor. And she's like, don't tell anybody. And I was like, oh, she saved me. You know, because when I told it, I was like, oh, no, I told a joke Japanese won't get. They'll just think I'm crazy. And she, you know, and then everybody laughed. And I was like, okay, no more jokes from me. I'm just going to be quiet.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you guys are really special, you know, out of all places on Earth. But so
very unique.
But yeah, but definitely, I think when it comes to the virus, it's your cultural discipline has really slowed it down. But it's still going to get there for sure. It's already in Japan, of course. You got about 1,000 cases, and it still is on an exponential march.
Yeah, and we were also talking about Hong Kong, so let's go back.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Let's talk about Andy.
Yeah.
How about Andy and his nomination for the Nobel Peace Prize?
It's such a huge news. It should be, but right when we had the press conference to announce his nomination, a coronavirus outbreak came, and so no press showed up. Like the mainstream media reporters were supposed to come, but they ditched us to cover other things. Yeah. And I don't know what to do about it. So what I can do, though, is to keep talking about Hong Kong, because right now the virus is kind of working for the CCP, you know, that they are blinded by this pandemic, and we forget to talk about politics and what they're doing to Asia, like oppression and so on. So
how does the timeline work for the Nobel Prize? Okay, you get nominated, and then what? How does the process work?
So the nomination, the deadline was at the end of January. And so, and it's not going to be open for, like publicly. So unless the nominators talk about it, we never know for 50 years or something. And right now they're in the process of, you know, checking if who's going to win and so on. I'm pretty sure lots of lobbying are happening in the back. Right. And the announcement of the laureate will happen in October. So it's kind of soon, this year.
Okay, and then what happens after that? After the announcement?
I think that they will have a ceremony, but I don't know when.
Okay, yeah, this year maybe not, actually. I doubt that in October there's going to be a lot of people getting together.
Oh, true. And right before, in September, Hong Kong Legislative Council election is coming up. So maybe that will affect the results, because the movement itself in Hong Kong is nominated by Marco Rubio and also Democrat politicians and so on. So we'll see.
Someone said there's still echo. I hope there's not. It sounds good to me. It sounds perfect. But so, well, yeah, I just have a feeling that the Nobel Prize is not going to be a big deal this year. On because
bad timing.
Yeah, terrible timing. Yeah.
What did you think of Andy? Andy, by the way, for those who don't know, he's the leader of independence movement in Hong Kong. Like, he is the former convener of Hong Kong National Party, which was later banned by the Hong Kong government because they found them as a national security threat.
That's when I thought they were probably good guys. When I realized that the Chinese Communist Party thought that Andy is a national security threat, I was like, I need to have coffee with him.
Yes.
And you introduced us, and we did. Yeah.
What did you think of him?
Oh, I thought he sounded like a national security threat for China, so I liked him immediately. So I was like, this guy's pretty good. And I mean, and he laid out his reasons for it. I mean, so many reasons. And for instance, trying to force Hong Kongers to speak Mandarin instead of Cantonese. And just simple things like that. That would be like coming to America and trying to force us to speak Mandarin instead of English, or whatever instead of English, right? And although we don't actually have a national language in America, believe it or not. But I mean, and so many other things, trying to change the history books. And as you know, the history book wars are big in Japan. They're also big in the United States with McGraw-Hill and these sorts of things, and also big in Hong Kong. And so so that very much upsets Andy, as you can imagine, and they rewrite history constantly, and so and try to and they treat Hong Kongers badly if they don't speak Mandarin. I've seen it myself. If they don't, they treat the Hong Kongers like second-class citizens, and that really, and as you know, they've been doing a forced immigration, in a sense, of 100 to 150 people a day since 1997? Is that right? From the mainland into Hong Kong?
Yes.
So they're doing a very soft genocide, supplanting the Hong Kongers. So the Hong Kongers have been moving to places like Canada and the United States and Australia, and it's a soft way to take over the country that nobody quite. It's like a vine growing around your house.
And it's like one country, two systems is eventually China takes over. So
absolutely.
You have to stand up. Yeah.
And they're doing it, as you know, way in advance. And people like Andy are seen as radicals because they want to be... Now, to say that they want independence, like Andy has said, is like ultra-radical, right? He's considered like a terrorist. Despite that, he hasn't done any bombs or any violence or anything at all. The most that he's done is say, "You're treating us badly." You know what I mean? So, but for them, that's a terrorist, right? He's not like that at all. I mean, he just wants what we would all want, what Japanese want, what I want for the United States, and I'm sure I know what you want for Japan. You want the same thing. You want Japan to be Japanese, and he wants Hong Kong to be Hong Kong. And I want the United States to be American, right? It's like, that's what we want.
It's so
we're basically nationalists, right? And people try to say, nationalists, you're like evil people. It's like, no, I'm welcome in Japan. And you're welcome in America. You know what I mean? It's like, come live in America. I don't care. But we want, it's like, I hope you do, actually. I hope you and your husband will just tour around everywhere, actually. Or even live if you want.
I want to.
But you don't want somebody to come in and take over your country. That's what. And Andy doesn't want that, especially not communist Chinese. So what's wrong with that? Nothing. It's in fact, you've been to Hong Kong, right? I mean, Hong Kong is a great place, great people. I want Hong Kong to be Hong Kong.
Great place.
Yeah, it's a special place.
Yeah, too bad.
On Earth.
Too bad you can't enter anymore.
Yeah, they kicked me out on February 5th. Well, actually, they didn't let me back in, but whatever. I'll be back. Sooner or later, things are going to change. With patriots like you in Japan fighting me, and I'm in Thailand now, but fighting from wherever I'm at against Chinese Communist Party, taking a shot at least one shot every day at Chinese Communist Party, and Andy, and so many more. There's millions of us, and we're growing. Since about the last month, our numbers have gone as exponential as the virus. We were alone. True. You and me and Andy and a few of us we were mostly alone until just recently. And now all of a sudden we're a minority voice, which is great. It's like the army showed up, But you've been fighting for years, We first met in 2014, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were already on point, like, let's go get them.
Yes. It's really refreshing that now I watch Fox News and they say like China's lies. And so like they get it and they're so like against China now. So I'm like, yes, you finally understand.
Finally.
Because Obama administration was just before this Trump administration, and during that they just let China grow. And so, it's like, finally.
Yeah. And then China, I don't know if you noticed, but China threatened, most of our pharmaceuticals and the active pharmaceutical ingredients are made in China, right? And
I heard it.
Yeah. And now they've threatened us in the face of this pandemic, which will, can easily kill 1 million Americans, and probably will. They've threatened to cut off our pharmaceuticals. They've threatened to cut off our They are signing their own death warrant. CCP is Chinese Communist Party by doing that. But it's like you and me can almost retire from our fight now. You know what I'm saying? It's like I was like I couldn't have fashioned something better than China threatening to cut off our pharmaceuticals. That's going to anger like every American. It's like thank you, China. Everybody says they're so smart, but I'm like, look what they just did. They just did my job and your job for us. We can just take the day off and just
everybody
watch.
Up.
We can just take the day off and watch everybody smash China now. Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Did you notice that did they threaten Japan on pharmaceuticals as well?
No, they're rather like, let us help you with our masks and so on. It's so annoying.
Yeah, the same in Italy.
We helped China first, and because they make masks, they're like, I will give you. Like,
did you see what Taiwan did with the mask back in January? They
made a flag thing.
They put the Taiwan flag on the mask. So anytime Chinese came to visit, if they wanted to wear a mask, they had to have that on. I love Taiwanese people.
Yeah, that's awesome. Japanese people are actually producing our own masks as well because we can't get any. So handmade masks are a thing now.
If they're made by Japanese, they're going to be super high quality. They're kind of like $150 each, probably, like super folded. It'll fit like in a tiny piece.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, like totally meld to your face. Just. Oh man, this is terrible. What's unfolding, but on another side of it, it's finally we can finally destroy Chinese Communist Party.
Yes, there's a bright side.
The commie virus.
Yeah. And we really need to end what I'm thinking is that we need to end colonization of China and end globalism, like exceeded globalism. Like we need globalism, but not this level of globalism. And we need to produce everything inside of our nation. And that's something that Trump administration had as a policy. So like now the virus is proving Trump administration right.
Oh yeah, actually. And you've been you're out there wearing MAGA hats on your podcast and whatnot. Just like
people thought I was crazy.
Yeah, they did actually, but not now. They thought you were quite crazy, but not.
I told you.
They thought. Well, and also like when China threatened Japan on rare earths, then you guys start looking. You're like, okay, we got to do something about this. Like you found a bunch in the sea, and And there's so many things that their threats have caused us to react to, whether it's Japan reacting or us reacting. We got to pull ourselves out, and that's what's going to collapse them. Or one thing, there's others too.
Yeah. Do you think about after they collapse, though, like when CCP gets destroyed, like what happens to China and so on? Are there arguments like that? Arguments or discussions in the States?
I mean, behind the scenes, I talk with people about it all the time. I don't know what will happen.
Okay.
I mean, I think some sort of civil war, but I don't know the texture of China enough to understand how it might. As well as I know the United States, and I've traveled around the United States quite a lot and lived all around, and my English is okay. I mean, if we were to have another civil war, I'm not even sure the texture of that. So there's no way I could really understand how it would really play out in China. Theirs. But certainly, I mean, as you know, there's a lot of internal friction anyway. There always has been. I mean, as you well know, this China that we have today is a fake. It's just something that's drawn on the map, and people go, "Okay, that's China." You know that. You know it really well. I mean, you know extremely well. That's why we're teammates on fighting them. Sooner or later they'll want to draw Japan as part of China, but they're not going to get there. This virus is like
we'll stop them.
Oh my gosh. This virus is, unfortunately, though, it's going to cause pain everywhere. But so what do your friends think about the virus? Are they taking it seriously? Your friends, are they taking the virus seriously?
Yeah, seriously, but I don't know if it's enough. That, like, we're having a normal life and we are just self-restricting our life. Like, we stay home, and so that's all we do, and we have to go to the grocery store to get food and just normal life, if you know what I mean.
Right. Well, normal life, except school's not in now, of course.
Yes.
Right.
And some workplaces, like big corporations, are now doing the telework, like they work from home and so on.
Right.
So, but still, people commute on train. Just the other day, I went on the train to go back to my parents' house, and it was packed, and people were coughing inside and so on. So, but
you mean Japanese were coughing? Were they wearing masks?
Yeah, Japanese people with masks, like workers. They still have a normal life going to work. So,
were they coughing more than normal? That's the question. Were they coughing more than normal?
Just regular, I think, because this is the season that like when seasons change, so lots of people have like high fever. Is it called high fever? Like
yeah. Well, actually, sneezing is not a symptom of this disease, actually, but coughing, dry cough is, and fever. Dry cough and fever is, but sneezing is not.
Can't really tell.
Yeah, well, anyway, we're going to know soon enough, right? Yeah, and so, have you talked with Andy lately about his Nobel Prize nomination?
About that, not really. We just told him that, hey, you are now nominated. And he's like, wow, really? Thank you. And he's like so cool about it. So, that's pretty much it. But we get in touch, though.
Has the virus affected the economy in Japan?
In Japan, yes. So small companies are now collapsing, and the government right now is trying to help everybody, those who have a full-time job and officially hired people are safe. But there are lots of people here in Japan that are dispatched workers or part-time workers, and those people get fired, like getting fired. And also they're, even if they are not fired, they can't go to work. Like there's no work there to do. So they don't get paid. So our income is dramatically decreasing and people can't pay our rent. So the government said like, oh, we will consider giving you money based on what happened in 2009. It's based on like the financial crisis back in 2008. And so for the aid of that in Japan was giving out 1,000. In the math is so difficult. Wait, let me see. So $100. They only gave $100 to each worker back in the day, and they were going to do it again, like 100. Like, it's not going to pay our rent.
That's nothing in Japan, right? $100 is nothing in Japan.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's very... when I'm talking to you, I should go like this, right? You hear me through that microphone. Everybody else hears me through the other one. It's very strange. I don't know why this is doing that. But
I can hear, though.
Okay. What about the Olympics? What about the... are Japanese talking about the Olympics closing?
Yes,
or not canceling
it's
the
hard
Olympics
to say, like...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's hard to say everybody's opinion. I only know people around me, and we kept saying, like, we shouldn't have the Olympics this summer at least. But the government here kept saying, like, oh, we will have everything as planned. And they keep saying that, even though we know that foreign countries or IOC will say, like, oh, don't do that, and then we respond. And that makes us look bad, So we should have suggested, but now foreign countries are starting to say, like, oh, we should postpone or we should cancel and that sort of thing. So, and the Abe administration really badly wanted to host the Olympics in summer. So
the Olympics aren't going to go. Because everybody, who's going to be able to send athletes, even if Japan had zero infections, especially if Japan had zero infections, you would not want all the infected athletes coming in, right? I mean, it's not realistic. But I don't know why they haven't canceled it, but it could have been, I'm just going to take a wild guess. It could have something to do with insurance reasons, right? It could have something to do with if they cancel, then, then they're not going to get any remuneration for it. I don't know. Wild guess. Just putting that idea out there. There might be another cause for it. The government has to come and say, okay, we're just canceling it. And then they'll say, see, the government canceled, not us. Because I think everybody can see the writing on the wall. Somebody from Hong Kong told me a few hours ago that she's going to go to graduate school in the United States in June or something like that. And I was like, no, you're not. You're not going. You might as well make new plans because it's not. It's simply not going to happen.
Tough time.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions here. Actually, someone says you're cute.
Oh, thank you.
She's married. The Kentucky Derby is postponed, SB says. Yeah, it's just now hitting Japan and USA. It's really just now hitting Japan. USA's had the first punch, but we're about of a 15-round fight. We're just starting. Let me see if there's any questions here for you. Yoko, can you see the questions when people are putting these up? Can you see them?
No, I only have my phone here.
Oh, here's Tommy Walker. Tommy, I thought you were going to Yuen Long tonight. Tommy, we were just talking about Yuen Long. I thought you were going out to the protest tonight. But anyway, Tommy's a British journalist friend of mine. His work from Hong Kong is very accurate. He keeps getting hit with rubber bullets, though. You should see what they do to his shoulder. It's pretty cool. Let's see. Tommy says they've postponed the European Championships soccer from summer 2020 to summer 2021 so they can postpone with the Olympics. Okay, that's interesting. I want to get Tommy on here as well. Okay.
What?
Go ahead.
What's interesting?
Go ahead. When I click a comment, can you now see this comment on the bottom about sumo? Can you see that?
No, I only see Skype screen.
Oh, I see. Okay, now I got it. You'd have to have your Facebook open then. Anyway, so here's one about. Go ahead, say what you're going to say, and then I'll tell you what this comment says.
Oh, so as for our prime minister, he sometimes uses Trump's mouth to say what he wants to say. So, for example, he used President Trump at the UN to talk about the abduction problem caused by North Korea. And right now, as for the Olympics, he had a telephone conference with President Trump, and then later President Trump said like postpone the Olympics 1 year. So I feel like maybe that's what Abe wants. I don't know, just my hunch. But
when she said Abe, Yoko, it means Prime Minister Abe.
Oh, the Prime Minister. Yeah.
You just said it quickly. I'm not sure if they would catch it. Okay, what about the sumo just started the yearly match without audiences?
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Oh.
Yes, I saw that on TV. But people watch that on TV anyway, so
Tommy
no
Walker's
problem. But the wrestlers
Tommy Walker, the journalist, is hitting on you. Tommy, she's married, dude. Just leave her alone. And her husband's like big, like a sumo wrestler too, man. He'll smash you like a little punk. Let's see. Let's see. Jan Benning. America has withdrawn from the Olympics. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, realistically, Americans aren't going. Here's one. Stephen Grin Harsha saying, I live in Japan in Niigata. I've been to the hospitals in my area. I have friends, doctors, nurses in Tokyo, Osaka, and Hokkaido. We have not yet seen an uptake of cases or greater than normal outpatient services yet. It's coming.
Oh, is he saying that we don't get tested?
I'm sorry? Oh, no. He's saying they haven't seen an increase, haven't seen an increase in the cases coming to those hospitals.
Oh, I see.
And Tommy Walker says he still might be going to Yuen Long late arrival. Yeah, I was looking at some comms, Tommy. I thought you were already at Yuen Long, actually. Okay. Let's see. And here's somebody saying, Toy Stuart Biederman is saying, Yoko, my son is planning to go to Japan on Tuesday to teach English.
What?
Yeah. Are the schools going to be reopened, and is the virus under control? Well, you just heard her answer. Her answer was what?
Just that, I don't know.
I didn't even finish reading it. She was like, what?
Oh. Yeah, I mean, like services are still open, like stores and like private schools are open, I believe, but I don't know if people come and so on. Like it's a really like emergency time, even though we're taking it easy.
Oh.
Like not many people out in the city and so on, except for like really busy ones.
But Japanese are calm in the face of danger. I've seen like when I came after when you had the earthquake and then the tsunami and all that, and then I came in from Afghanistan to Japan from Afghanistan, and I flew it. So I go to Tokyo, and the streets are empty, And then there was still, as you know, a lot of aftershocks. Right, there was a lot, and they were big. They weren't like little ones that like make you. I was like, wow, this building feels like it's going to come down. And I was just like, I was at this hotel, and there was like this mother with like her daughter or something, little child at the next table, and they're just like acting like nothing's happening. I'm looking around all the Japanese. Every time Japanese are just like, drinking coffee, and I'm like, you're gonna spill it on yourself or tea. It's like these earthquakes, and they're just like, whatever. Yeah. Don't worry, be happy. Yeah. You guys just like got the total calm.
We try to stay calm.
Totally calm. So yeah, and so when you see Yoko being so calm, you have to, put a Japan factor on that.
Oh yeah, because I can be furious right now. You never know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like totally hidden. Let me see if there's other comments here. And you don't have another screen where you can see comments, do you? Or do you have only one screen?
I'm only seeing your Facebook feed.
Oh.
Yeah.
If you look there, you can see a lot of these comments. I'm looking for any questions in particular. Yeah. Anyway, so what are you going to do if the virus starts to get to be a big problem in Japan, which quite frankly I think that it will actually.
Yeah.
I think that because of your cultural discipline though, you're slowing it down. So you're getting to meet it halfway, but you're still going to have to fight it straight up. Whereas America just let it run all the way across the ocean and smash us in the face. I mean, you guys, because of everybody wearing masks and all that. Did you know that our Surgeon General and some of our other medical experts told us not to wear masks? Did you know that?
No. I might it's more like germs.
Did you know that our Surgeon General, which is like our top doctor in America, is supposed to be, right? He told Americans, he did it like on his Twitter, and he did it in interviews. He said, "Don't wear masks; they don't help."
Really? Oh.
You see how strange that is? You see why we don't trust our government? You You see why we want to keep guns? I know that's strange to you guys, but but
that's strange.
Our government came straight up and told us we shouldn't wear masks.
That's odd. I mean, there are ways to wear your mask. So, a lot of people actually are wearing it wrong, So that can be what he's talking about, or I don't know. You never know.
No, they made it sound like that. Okay, you're onto something, because then they tried to make it sound like unless you're wearing it properly, it can be. You're like,
right.
We're giving driver's license to people that are driving around giant cars at 60 miles an hour. I think they can figure out how to use a car. They can ride a bike. They can put their shoes on. They can learn how to wear a mask, right? You know what I'm saying? They can use a razor blade. Maybe I should, without cutting their head off by accident. You know what I mean? They should be able to wear a mask, right? They can put glasses on without poking their eyes out. But then then people actually buy into it. They're like, yeah, well, what if people don't wear the mask properly? They're like, do you think that the average American is that stupid that they can't wear a mask? You know what I mean? They can't figure this out. It takes 1 minute of instruction. Okay, you put the mask on, right? It's got these little things, these little rubber band things. You stretch them out. You stretch them out. You put them over your head, and then you put this on like this, And then, not exactly like that. See, I can't wear it right. But anyway, then you put it on, and then you don't touch it, and then you wear it, until you take it off, and then you take it off a special way. That's all. It takes 1 minute. Yeah. And they're like, oh, no, this is a highly technical medical device. This is like if you don't wear this device right, and you probably can't figure it out, you'll die.
True.
So,
weird.
Yeah.
I saw I think I saw it on Fox News, but this health department person from California, she was giving all this medical advice, right? What to do, what not to do, and then she licks her finger.
Oh, I saw what you're talking about. You mean the American lady, right? She was and then exactly. They kept replaying that. Man, yeah. That's just, you can't make up this stuff. You can't make. Does the Japanese government do stupid stuff like that too?
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe. See, you're being Japanese polite. Americans would be like, "Yeah, American government." Japanese are like, possibly.
To be sure. Yeah.
It's like, but oh my gosh, you should see the Hong Kongers. Hong Kongers are like Americans. Hong Kongers are like, actually, they're even more aggressive than Americans in a lot of ways. They're like totally, in some ways more aggressive, in some ways less. But Hong Kongers are straight up. very profane people. You know what I mean? Like they say stuff that I won't even say, even when I'm not on camera. I won't say. I'm like, that's too much. That's too much cursing. So,
very straightforward.
Exactly. But when are you and your husband going to go to the United States and take your blog all the way around, all to the American states? I know Americans. It's funny because Yoko has told me offline. She's like, she doesn't think Americans will listen to her because she's Japanese. I'm like, they'll listen to you because you're Japanese. It's like you got it completely backwards. It's true, isn't it?
That's
Americans will tell you this. They'll come on the comments and tell you it's true.
Is it
true? For sure. Absolutely sure.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, so I have met a lot of Americans here in Japan, right?
Right.
And they, even though they say that they like Japan and, they are friends with us and so on, they look down on us.
Really?
Those who are living here. Yeah, because they are Democrats, mostly.
Oh, Democrats.
Like leftist people.
Oh, really?
Leaving their own mother country and living here. And they always have this, like, snob attitude. And, like, we are better than you kind of attitude. And, yeah, we are poisoned by that.
Really? It's interesting because a lot of my military friends that have been stationed in Japan are quite the opposite. Mm-hmm. They're like me.
Yeah,
like when I come to Japan, every time I leave, I've got better manners than when I went in. You know what I mean? It's like I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like I like become a better person when I go to Japan. I can't believe that some people look down on Japan. That's crazy. What about U.S. military people in Japan?
I actually never meet them. I kind of hit on one person though at the subway because wearing like casual clothes and white, and I'm like, oh, are you okay? Like, are you lost? I kind of talked to him, and then later it turned out that he is working for the Navy or Marine, I forgot, but like he was stationed in Nagasaki, and then later he sent me a naked picture.
What?
Like, what?
That had to be a Marine. Oh, it could be Navy too. That would definitely be either Marine or Navy, not Air Force. Not Air Force. Air Force would send you a picture like wearing a tie and stuff.
Air Force. Yeah.
That would be total Marine or Navy.
Very wild. So that's the only interaction I think. I kind of had the political event like there was this American aircraft that sunk in the sea in Kyushu area, like close to where I live, and we wanted to return that to the States, which we did, and we had a ceremony. So then the U.S. military people came, but that's like the only occasion that I had to meet U.S. military people. So I want to meet more. Like I want to visit Okinawa, for example.
Yeah.
But
I thought you went to Okinawa. You never went to Okinawa?
Never been.
Oh, I thought you went there before. Oh. Hey, stop touching your eyes. You know what I did? Listen, my
makeup is coming off. Like
mine too, actually. My makeup too. But actually, I started. Every time I touch my face, I say, "Touch my face." I'm trying to train myself not to touch my face, because we touch our face all the time. And imagine you go to the airport and you got to put your finger on the fingerprint thing, which 1,000 people just did it. How much coronavirus is on? It's like 1 centimeter thick of coronavirus, and you're like, and then you're in baggage claim going,
I know.
Okay,
I know.
Death sentence. That's why I'm always going. Actually, I notice people now when they touch their face more than I did just 2 weeks ago. Because every time I touch my face, I'm like, touch my face, and I do it. Well, if I'm doing live cast too, I'll go touch my head. It's probably making people think I'm crazy. But even when I don't have the camera on, if I'm in my house and if I touch my face, I'm training myself not to do it. I do it a lot less now, actually. Cool. I'm just using army tricks.
That's good. Yeah.
Actually, one way you can do it though, Yoko, is get some hot peppers and put them on your fingers, and then you'll train yourself, right? It'll work, man. It's the Mexican training way. It's pragmatic. It's like, get some of those Mexican hot peppers and just put it on your fingertips.
So stereotypical.
You'll be totally trained.
True.
Let's see if there's any. Yeah, Catherine's saying you need a dog collar on your hands. She's not talking to you. She's talking about. She's not talking about Yoko needs. She's saying, you meaning, what your English is good. Patty Horton, a friend of mine, she's saying she is delightful. I must start my day. Have a blessed day, sir. Yeah, you are delightful. Everybody likes to listen to you. Actually, what else is going on in Japan right now? Like, have you ever gone to sumo wrestling? Because I saw somebody saying sumo is canceled. They're only watching on TV now. Have you ever gone to sumo?
Yeah, on TV. Not the ones that go on TV. Only the one, like I saw it in Yasukuni Shrine, but that's about it.
Oh, wait, you mean they were at Yasukuni? You mean the sumo wrestlers were at Yasukuni? Oh, yeah. Oh, I've been to Yasukuni many times.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, I've been to Yasukuni. I went there for a cherry blossom festival one time, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, it smells good. I mean, that was during 2015 maybe or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or somebody here, Michael Talcott says, put some hot wasabi on your fingers. And and Larry's saying, have Yoko on again. I know people are going to be sending me 1,000 messages. Get Yoko on. What does Yoko think about?
Thank you.
So all you have to do is ask, and then I'll ask Yoko. And now that we've figured out how to do this, except for we're having a microphone problem.
Oh yeah.
Anytime Yoko's
also, I'm on YouTube, so.
Oh, actually, she's got a Yoko. She's got a YouTube page. You'll see me publish it sometimes. Actually, whenever I get an alert.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't always alert me, but sometimes when you do in English language, I'll put it up. And she does a very good job. And random Yoko on YouTube. Just do the subscribe thing and hit the bell, and then you can see she does lots of really good stuff. I've put it up many times. I'm looking at comments here. Do you see any of the comments that you think you can answer? Jan is asking, what's Yoko's blog? On her website, on her YouTube, it's Random Yoko, like random chance, only Random Yoko. It's a cool name. Random Yoko. Okay.
Yeah.
Just go to Random Yoko, and you know what she looks like now, so you'll see. And then just like it, just subscribe, and then hit the bell. Okay. I was looking for any questions for you, but so what do you plan to do if the virus gets severe, though?
In Japan?
Yes, in Japan.
Isn't it interesting that I never thought about it?
Well, my friend, it's time to think about it. It's time to think about it. It's time to really think about it, like a lot.
Yeah. Well, what should I do? Food?
Definitely food. Definitely food and water, because it's definitely coming. You're just slowing it down. It's still coming.
Yeah.
And young people are getting it, actually. I have 3 friends that seem to have it now, actually. I told you that. I have 3 friends that seem to have it.
Yeah. In Thailand.
One is a Hong Konger in Hong Kong. And then another is a Russian friend in America. And then another is an American friend in America.
Oh, I see.
So all
I saw the news
seem to have it. Unclear,
I saw
though,
the news
none are
today.
tested. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I saw the news today in Japanese that this is the Italy case, but 99% of the dead people had some kind of condition beforehand. The dead people. The 99% of the dead people had the disease.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw it. That was in Italy you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are these statistics trustworthy? I have no idea.
True. I actually have a condition, so I'm kind of like, I should be paying attention.
I'm not a doctor, but I know that they have talked about respiratory conditions. And being able to be hospitalized is vital, of course, right? And I shouldn't say of course, I'm just going by what the doctors say. And when the hospitals get overwhelmed, then people are not going to be able to have the respirators and that sort of thing that the doctors say that they need. And so, and this can require hospitalization for up to 1 month. Up to 1 month. So this is really...
Yeah.
So that's a problem that we're going to have in the United States starting right about now. That hospitals will be filled up, and then they're just not going to get treatment. Even if we had enough beds, which we won't, we will not have enough doctors and nurses. We're just not going to. So people are just going to be sick in the parking lot or at home or that sort of thing.
True.
Yeah, and so let me see if there's any questions over here that are just directed for you. Or you're watching, you're seeing it on your phone, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Michael Talcott, exactly what constitutes an underlying condition? All my family might fit the bill. Oh, many things that the doctors are saying. Respiratory illnesses. Actually, age seems to be one of the most direct correlations, but also like obesity, they're saying, and anything that weakens your immune system. I'm not a doctor, so I'm going to be super careful and back off. I'm only saying what I've been reading. But obesity, they said, is actually a serious exacerbating factor.
Do I know anyone that is sick? Not coronavirus, nobody. I don't know anybody with infection. But my friends that I do live stream with on Monday night, he had a fever for several days and he tried to get tested for coronavirus and they declined. And so he never know.
Was that in Japan?
Yeah, like my friend in my prefecture that I live stream with.
Oh, very interesting. I wonder if I've seen him on your live streams. Sometimes when you're live streaming in Japanese, I'll watch it in the background. I've left a comment sometimes. Like when you're on with your husband and stuff.
Yeah.
You're like, there's Mike again. I know he doesn't understand a word we're saying.
No, we introduced you.
Yeah, that's right. One time you were actually talking to me.
That is Michael.Yon.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if there's any other. Yeah, actually, Stephen has said something here. Stephen Grin Harsha, the single most important thing you can do to improve your chance of staying healthy is to get enough sleep. Doctors are saying that like constantly. They're like, get enough sleep, reduce stress in your life, anything, because stress reduces our immune systems for some reason. And I'm surprised it doesn't make them stronger. but they say it hurts our immune systems. And vitamin D helps. Just sunlight. You can get vitamin D from that, or taking the supplements, vitamin C that they've said for years, and D.
How long ago was my friend turned away at the hospital? I think it was late February or so. I think it's kind of a long time ago.
See,
was it? Sometime in February.
So quite a while back. Atu Shisha is saying, I live in Florida. People here care so much about other people's health. Japanese never take a day off, even when they're sick, and spread their sickness. So you're saying that people live in Florida care about other people's health. It depends on which culture. As you know, there's many cultures in Florida. Florida's like California super, super light. You know what I mean? I've lived in California and Florida. Well, I grew up in Florida.
Yeah.
But and there's some cultures that really do care about each other quite a lot. And there's others that are just like, who cares, man? Don't care at all.
I saw this article, I think it's Wall Street Journal. It said like boomer remover and the generation war is happening.
Yeah, Larry's saying, hearing her, she is so delightful and laid back. Is she like that off mic? I really like her. Oh, yeah, she's totally like that. She's totally like, Japanese. Don't worry, be happy, calm all the time. More polite than us. Let's see. That's funny how you're saying that Japanese, or somebody left a comment that the Japanese are not looking out for each other's help. But I always get the impression that Japanese look out for each other quite a lot. Is that your impression or not? I get the impression that you really look out for
we
each other.
think from other people's perspective all the time.
Right.
That's our culture.
Yeah, which is the way I was raised. I've said to you before, and I've published before, that Japanese culture and Southern culture actually have a lot of similarities. They might think that they're very, very separate, but there's a lot of things that are quite similar. There's different Southern cultures, and there's different Japanese cultures too, but the overall, a lot, it's very similar in many weird ways, isn't it? You haven't been to the South yet. You'll see what I'm saying.
Yeah, because it's a community, it's the sense of community.
Yeah, and also, for instance, we value manners and politeness. Southern people do. Like, I put a lot of, if people are impolite, I immediately start to, it's a cultural abrasion, right? And Japanese are like that as well, right? Yeah. And also, it's funny how many people in Asia, whether it's Japan or wherever, they'll be like, Americans don't know about saving face. I'm like, yeah, we do. We go to war to save face. We got it. We absolutely understand saving face. And Americans will say it all the time too. They're like, we don't understand saving face like so many Asians do. And I'm like, yeah, we do. Yeah. That's why we're still in Afghanistan. After
true.
Since 2000.
Yeah, American culture is actually very close to Japan. I think it has to do with the living standards, being kind of the same. The middle class living is the same here, I would say. So like our culture or our attitude in life in general, it's very similar.
Yeah. Oh, I thought I heard a siren in your background. Was there a siren?
There is siren.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I couldn't tell. Something's wrong with my head. Let's see. Because it was very light. I was like, oh, maybe it's too many explosions in the war and I'm hearing it.
Yeah, calling for you.
Yeah. Let's see here. Japanese. Let's see. Okay. Well, what else is going on there that you want to talk about? And otherwise, I will shut off for tonight and continue to study. I may come back on later. Yeah. I'm studying the virus issue, and you're always welcome to come on. You can come on later tonight. My show is your show. We got a common enemy. She's got the Japanese corner. I got the corner whatever corner I'm in is the corner I got.
Every corner.
That's right. I'm in four corners of the earth.
Yeah.
But we're on the same mission. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like guard our homelands and destroy CCP. Oh my God. Pretty simple and straightforward.
It's so open.
It's just like, why do we hide it? What we're up to. You know what I mean? Some people have told me, I get these, messages from people. They're like, you shouldn't actually say that we're trying to destroy the Chinese Communist Party. I'm like, it's pretty clear what we're trying to do. I'm just saying it. You know what I mean? This is not a trade war. We're smoking them. You know what I mean? We're here to shoot them off their horse. You know what I mean? And destroy them. And they're like, yeah, you'll spook them. They'll see what we're up to. And I'm like, if they don't see it yet, then they're lost anyway. That's what they're trying to do to us. As you know, They're trying to.
Yeah.
And one of the things, they need to take out Japan. They know that. And that's why they need to split Japan from Korea, as you know, with the comfort women issue and all these other things, right? You know what? We got to get on the show sometime and talk just about the comfort women issue and nothing else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just prepare and just talk about it. And I think we can have 3 people on at once as well. I think we can put up to 3 on. We can have like 3 people. I think we can put 3, and then we can just talk about that. Who else should we bring on at the same time? One of your Japanese friends,
English?
or maybe Jason Morgan.
Oh, Jason Morgan, yeah.
Yeah, or Al, or Jason, or just think about it. And we'll all 3 come on, and we'll just talk about this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
let's do that.
But it's, because they're using the comfort women issue to split Korea and Japan, which they've now made a lot of success with, as you really well know, because you study this issue. And then ultimately to also split the United States from Japan, which is not working. Actually, they've made us come. You and I would not even know each other if we didn't find each other while fighting China separately. We're like, hey, she's fighting China too. Let's team up. And you're like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Grab your arrows. So, move to the front. And then that's why you saw us. We were attacking the comfort women issue. Me and some Americans and I, right? And then and so the Chinese have been trying to split apart Japan and Korea, and then they want to split Japan and the United States. That's not working. But because we're actually getting stronger relations, and then and they're trying to split Korea and the United States to greater and lesser extent. Not totally as successful as between Korea and Japan, but they're not going to split us. I mean, Japanese-American relationship just keeps getting stronger and stronger year after year.
Yes.
I mean, I want to see more and more Americans and Japanese intermarry because, that just makes the bond.
Oh, yeah.
And one thing I often mention is 442nd Regimental Combat Team. When a lot of Americans have no idea who they are, and that's, did you know it's the most, do you know who the 442nd Regimental Combat Team is? It's the most decorated American combat unit for its size, I think, which is a regimental combat team, in the entire U.S. military. They were the Japanese, Nisei, right? They were the Japanese. They were some of the Japanese we put into to internment camps at World War II, right? Like Archie Miyamoto. Yeah. Do you know Archie? Archie. No. My friend Archie. He's like 700 years old. He might be watching right now. But he fought. Oh, okay. He fought in he fought in Korean War. He fought in the Korean War, did 3 tours in Korea. But one of his brothers was in 442nd, actually. But 442nd, and see, like his family was in an internment camp in the United States. And then he was in Japan because he was an American citizen. We shipped him back to Japan as an American citizen. So he was in Japan during the war. While we were bombing Japan, we had put Archie and his family back in Japan as American citizens. And then he came back to America and joined the military and went off and fought in Korea. 3 tours, almost, I don't know anybody that's even done 2 tours in Korea. And then he did a couple tours in Vietnam. And then he retired from the military as an officer. Wow. And then he went into business. He's American. He lives in Los Angeles. But anyway, But the 442nd was this regimental. It was a team of Japanese volunteers. They were not drafted. In World War II, and a lot of them came from the internment camps. And they went over and they fought so hard. They got like bucketfuls of medals of honor and bronze stars and silver stars. And they had like, what percent turnover did they have? Was it 200 or 300% or so? If you know what I'm talking about. It was 200 or 300% casualties or something like that, which means the entire unit basically is turned over because everybody's dead or wounded. You know what I'm saying? So it's like an entirely different unit because all the others are dead. You know what I mean? And over numerous times, and just like, and they just kept fighting. They're like, and after we put them in camps, right? There's a memorial for 442nd in Los Angeles. I went to it with Al. Al and I went there. We went to it 2 or 3 times, and I photographed every name there actually. And I was like, this is they fought. They're as American gets, and we had them and their families in internment camps. Finally, President Reagan actually apologized for what happened. He was great. I mean, he actually came out and apologized. I think we paid was it $200,000 or $20,000 or something for each family. It wasn't much, but I mean, but it was more of the. It was because a lot of the Japanese they were Americans. They weren't Japanese. They were Americans, and they lost everything. They lost their farms. Right. They lost their homes. Luckily, in some cases, Americans were like, "Hey, I'll take care of your farm until you get back." And so, in some cases, they got to go back to their farms, and it was actually still there because somebody took care of it for them. But it's like it was a shame actually that we had done, and this is in the back of my mind every time that like this issue that's going on with China now. When I say kick out all the Chinese, I'm very cognizant of what happened to Japanese Americans, and I'm like, okay, dial it back. Not all Chinese. I'm not talking about Taiwanese. I'm not talking about Hong Kongers or Singaporeans or even just common Chinese people. They're Americans. That's it.
Yeah.
But all these ones that are working at MIT in the physics lab or whatever, and you know what I'm saying? You know exactly what I'm saying. So to make a sharp delineation there, but so what we did to Japanese in World War II makes me very cognizant and with a lot of inertia to say anything about what we should do with Japanese in the United States now. But there are some that definitely need to go, as you know. And they need to go from Japan, too. Not all of them, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, I'm going to ramble. But the 442nd Regimental Combat Team, you should look it up. 442nd, 442. Okay. You're not going to believe it. And so when I tell Americans about 442nd Regimental Combat Team, they're like, really? I'm like, really? Look it up. Look at the movie, Go for Broke. Go for Broke. It's called Go for Broke. And, and they're, a lot of them were out. A lot of them came from Hawaii and stuff because, a lot of Japanese were in Hawaii. Still are, actually. And, oh, yeah, man, 442nd, straight up. And had very low, like, criminal problems is super tiny. It's like nobody even, it's so small that nobody, when people think, oh, Japanese, good, low crime. It's like, nothing's going to happen. It's like, and unless there's a fight, in which case something could happen. But yeah, 442nd Regimental Combat Team. You should look at the movie Go for Broke. I love that movie.
I should.
In fact, I've watched it like 5 times. You should watch it again. It's in black and white. It's because it was made like in the 1950s. I think it was made to. I think it was made to make Americans like Japanese more because it's got the feel to it. Because after you watch it's like 1950s though, but it's got this thing that after you watch the film, you're like, oh, that makes me like want to go say hello to a Japanese, and say like thank you, that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? And and actually interesting. When I was doing Comfort Women research, Al and I, we went through so much, and so did Jason and some others. We got a really, and Archie, we got such a vibrant team. And we should send information to you sometimes as well. But I found some old films. We have these propaganda films for our soldiers, right? And so when our soldiers were sent to Germany after World War II, and Japan, they had these films first on how to treat local people. So the films about going to Germany are like, be careful. They're still, basically they're saying they're still our enemy. They're just like straight up, like, be careful for even the children. Don't give them chocolate. Don't da-da-da-da-da. They're like totally like, and the music's like really harsh. They're like, Germany's one day we're going to have to fight them again. They're either at your feet or at your throat or whatever. Who said that? Churchill or somebody? Anyway, it was something. You can find it. It's on YouTube. There's quite a few of these films on YouTube. And so our propaganda for our soldiers' indoctrination, like, there you go to Germany, be careful, don't even befriend the children. And then you look at the same films. You can see them on YouTube by our War Information, OIW, right? Information. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter. Anyway, you can find them on. I'll send you some links. But then it's like when you go to Japan, they're like, you're looking at this like, Germans are our enemies. And they go to Japan, they're like, oh, and the Japanese people are very nice people. They were just brainwashed by, a despotic regime. But, and if you see the kids, you can give them chocolate. They're no danger. They're Japanese. They're nice. I was like, we just dropped atomic bombs on them and firebombed like 80 cities and all this horrific stuff. And then they immediately turn around and make these films like, Japanese are your friends. They're really cool. But not those damn Germans. You know what I mean? So you should see the films. I'll send them to you. It's going to blow your mind. It's totally like Japanese are completely. And so when you look at the Go for Broke film, you're like, it's totally and I'm pretty sure it was made in the 50s. It's very pro-Japanese. Wow, look at all the medals Japanese got. It was unbelievable. I can't believe you've never heard of 442nd.
I think I heard about our Japanese Americans fighting against us, Japanese.
No, they didn't. They did not. No. Usually, U.S. military won't do that. Like they were off in Europe. They weren't doing that. I mean, they use some of them. I think as translators and things like that. I think, we need to talk with historians about that. But to be careful with my words on that. But I think nearly all of them were in the European theater. But even now, like if you're see, this is kind of a plus and a negative of the U.S. military today. For instance, if you are from X country, there's much less chance you'll be deployed to that country. Whereas, on the one side, you're like, why don't we send them there? That's exactly where they should be, right? Because like when I went to a language school in the military, right? There were like people that spoke completely fluent Spanish that were going to German language school. They spoke Spanish because they were like Mexican. I'm like, why are they sending you to language school for like German or something? And they're like, I don't know. Because you got it. But I think we actually. I would have to ask some military specialists, but I think that we actually have a regulation against sending people, like if you're a Somali soldier, to send you to Somalia to deploy you. I'm not sure about that. I need to ask ask around and do my homework.
Interesting.
But in any case, we did not send them. They were deployed to Europe. And I think that they went to specifically to Italy and some anyway. Just look them up. They were, to put it in American terms, I know it could offend your Japanese ears, but they were badasses. they were really fantastic soldiers, and they've got a really great memorial. But they were American soldiers, so that might make you angry. You're Japanese. They were American Japanese.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
It's cool.
You know what I'm saying, my Japanese sister. All right. Anytime you want to come on, just shoot me a message.
Thank you.
Actually, let's see if there's any questions here. Actually, SB is saying, Mike, if memory serves, the 442nd fought the Nazis in Italy. Yeah, they fought in Italy. Yeah, too many of us have supported China in various ways. And I'm using Apple products. I mean, I'm doing this on an Apple machine actually, which is probably made in China. I think almost sure, right? Do they have any factories outside of China? I don't know. There's a lot of comments. I'm looking. Here's Tushi saying, "That's cool. My father-in-law, who's Air Force veteran, should watch it." 442nd. Oh yeah, man, watch it. Go for broke. It's awesome, but actually, it's even more interesting to read old historical accounts of 442nd. They were exceptional. All right, Yoko?
Yes.
You're having a moment of silence. Anything else to say before we sign off?
Let's keep fighting.
Oh yeah, we will.
Yeah.
We're on it, Just please tell your Japanese listeners and Americans too, like every day, help one person and shoot one poison arrow at the Chinese Communist Party. So make you feel good two times in two different ways.
Oh, true. Good idea.
All right, Random. It's great talking with you. I don't know how to turn this thing off. And oh, here we go. Finish. And I'm going to hit finish, and then I'll talk with you for a couple more minutes.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Mike out.